All right, we're live from 304 Studios in Jonesboro, Arkansas. This is STS Pod Club production, and welcome to the Memphis Wrestling Superstar. That's with two R's, and you know that's the way I'm doing it.
Arr.
This is a brand new show, and on this show, we ask a wrestler from Memphis Wrestling 5 questions on the main show, and then we'll go to the Patreon and ask 3 more. So you got to be a Patreon member. How the hell are you, Brett Michaels?
What's up? Is that one of the questions? Does that
No,
count?
no, 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 that don't count. That don't count. So no,
Oh,
no, no.
I
You
don't know
agree?
some questions that I haven't been asked yet. You might get some bad answers. I
Well,
don't
no,
know.
no, no. That's all right, man. That's all right. This is going to be
This is
kind of fun.
unscripted, so we're in trouble.
That's right. You're on the debut show. So the way I look at it is we can't screw this up because if we have to go back, we can say, well, it was the first one. I
Yeah,
mean,
we
you
we
know, what
blame
the
it on that.
hell? We
Well, we
didn't know
didn't know
what.
what we were doing on the first one.
All right, here we go. We're going to do it. Gun show. Would I ever catch you at a gun show? So are you a gunman? Do you have guns or do you hunt?
Man,
What about it, Brett?
man, I get this question asked a lot. Like, because people, like, I got a customized tag that says gun show. So
Right.
people are like at the gas station, and they're like, "Oh man, so are you a gun collector? Do you go do you go to gun shows and stuff?" And I'm like, "No, it has nothing to do with a gun show." But anytime we do see a sign though on the side of the road that says something like gun show and it has the date on it, it's
Right,
like I
right.
so want to steal those just so just so I can advertise myself somewhere, and I'm not really there. But honestly, I have never been to an actual gun show.
Not
just
a
just
gun guy.
this
I'm not
gun show.
either.
This is the only gun show that I've been to.
I've never been to a gun show. One time in Arkansas, you could just walk in and buy a gun. So I
Yeah,
want
yeah,
that
yeah.
one. So,
Back
and
in the day, you could do that at Walmart, man. Back
yeah,
here,
yeah, yeah. You're right about that. I forgot about that.
so back. I mean, of course, that was probably the '80s and '90s when
Yeah,
I was a
we're not
little
that
bit
old. What are you
younger.
talking about?
I meant my bad. Back in the day. Let's stick
And
with back
then
in the day.
my dad was a hunter, but it just never did anything for me. All I could think about was the guns when I done gun shows. So all right, that was number one. Number two, how does it feel winning all the awards? Is it
Oh,
intimidating? Are you holding the any of the bad stuff that you got from people?
oh,
The heat that you got for winning everything. How's it feel?
this might take a little bit
Go ahead,
to
talk to me.
answer this
Talk
one.
to me.
Um, I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, anybody that can get some awards like that, I mean, it's got to feel great. Um, I would have never even wrote an angle out for me to anybody to win every award or whatever that they were nominated in. And here we go again, and it's fan voted and it's legit. So at least I can use that for an excuse because it sure is not my wrestling ability or my talking ability on a promo that's getting me these awards. So I'm going to say after this year of winning all of the awards that I mean, I just be honest on some of those awards. There should have been some other guys winning those awards because there's a lot more guys that work for this company that's a whole lot more deserving than I am. I'm just a guy that's there, man, and there's a lot of guys that are there trying to. And they're young. They're trying to make a name for themselves. They're trying to get on bigger shows, and I just want to do what I can to make the show succeed. And I just want to make the show look good and be there and watch it as it succeeds. And on top of that, so
I
I'm probably
actually,
going to get a little heat off these
yeah,
awards,
yeah, I
but
thought so a little bit. But the
my
thing about it
bad. I mean,
is,
at least it wasn't my. I didn't write it.
no, you didn't. Well,
Nobody
it
wrote it.
wasn't. Yeah,
So
it wasn't a storyline. I was part of the. I know you probably didn't know this, but I was part of the voting, and I
I
saw
did
the
not know that.
results. I saw the results of the voting, so it was kind of like, let's look at what the results are and let's see what Dustin says, kind of thing. I was part of the committee, put it that way. But
There you go.
no, there was nothing. It was total shoot. And somebody explained it to me. Someone said so and so should have won, and I said, let me explain this. When we have a baby face that is over as you are, what happens is the crowd or the fans vote for you. They're not going the posse. Come on, they had the belts the whole year.
Right. I agree.
Big deal with the babyface. They're going to vote babyface, and it's officially old school. They brought the awards out to when they were worked a little bit, brought it out to the babyface, and then they do some kind of angle with it or something.
Right.
Yeah, I know you are one of those guys, and we talked about this the first time we talked right when Memphis Wrestling got started. That when something like this happens, you legitimately go, wow, thank you very much.
Yeah, because I literally don't have anything prepared to say because I don't expect it.
I
mean, because I don't see myself the way that apparently everybody else sees. Because those guys, I mean, look, I was in a thing against Mike Anthony and Kay Toomer. Those guys are like the top guys in Memphis wrestling. I mean, they have killed themselves and got themselves over by themselves. It wasn't somebody riding an angle to get them over. They got their spot. They got to where they needed to be because they busted their ass and got there. And I just be honest, when I was shocked because I had no idea I was going to win MVP, much less Man of the Year because of everybody that was nominated. I was like, oh God, here we go. No awards this year.
I know the tag team one that shocked me. The other one's
I agree because me and Swole, like we're tag team like in other places, but just not for
right for Memphis,
TV.
right? Yeah.
And they let us do it. They let us show our little stuff and our little tag stuff and
y'all were tagging during the FedEx show too, though. That was a big show.
Right.
That might have a little bit to do with it.
So,
big turnout on awards. And you know that I always did awards on WrestlingRideOnline.com, and I did them as shoot as possible also. Got in trouble all the time for people that won for that. But it was one of those things where there's just such a huge fan following. I guess that's the best I can say for y'all's show. And then
it's the fans, man.
It does, and it reflects.
They see more than what we see.
Yeah, very much so. Oh no, I get messages all the time that I'm just like, oh yeah, whatever. About the podcast was great, blah blah blah, and I'm like, okay, thank you.
Oh yeah, but I could have done it different. But I could have said this, I could have said that. And
y'all always do that though. Every wrestler that I say,
I beat myself up for a whole bunch of stuff.
This was a great match. They say, well, we really was supposed to do this, that. And I'm like, I don't care.
You should see the stuff we had to cut out because of time.
I hear that all the time.
That hurts your feelings, man. I'm like, all the big spots that was going to really wow the crowd got cut out because, hey, you went from 10 minutes down to 7 minutes.
Yep.
Counting everything.
Yep.
So.
Yep, that is very much so. All right, here we go. Number 3, who has hit you the hardest? Who is Potato G? You can tell me the story. It don't have to be Memphis Wrestling. It could be anywhere in your past, in your career. Who's hit you the hardest?
Without a doubt, Mike Anthony.
Oh man.
Like I told John Dalton on the show a couple of weeks ago, Mike Anthony is just on a whole different level than what a lot of the guys are here in the Mid-South. You can tell. I mean, he's mean. He don't care. He'll do what it takes to take you out. And anybody sitting anywhere ringside,
can hear.
If it was me and Mike Anthony, they're just like, oh my God. Like you could literally, let's see, which match? Hold on. I'll tell you when it was. It was the final showdown, the actual final one that we did.
Not the one where the camera messed up, but the next one that was in this year. Yeah, excellent match. Yeah.
He went to jump out, and I was going to catch him and throw him against the wall like I did in the first one. And he kind of scouted it out.
Right.
Thought about it a little better this time and caught himself. And so I went with it. And when I turned around, he hauled off and he slapped me in the side of the head. He hit me so hard. I was going to shrug it off and knock the crap out of him, but he hit me so hard. It rugged my bell, and I sat down on the chairs because I was like, Jesus Christ. I was like, man, this guy's going to kill me before it's over with. And everybody around, if you go back and you watch that, just that spot alone,
I'm going
and
to have to go back now.
listen to the smack. Don't listen to nothing else in that match, but that smack. He hit me so hard, my whole side of my head was hot for the rest of the rest of the match and everything. I mean, I was like, oh man, I was scared that I owed him some money or something. I mean, whew.
Yeah, that's the old
definitely
saying
Mike
we
Anthony
do. I
on
owe
that.
you something. Tell me what I
Right.
owe because I gotta know.
Right.
I gotta. Why'd you hit
Like
me so
I'm
hard?
over here apologizing for some money I took from him, and I didn't know that I did. But no, it was without a doubt, Mike Anthony.
Mike Anthony.
I'm
All
not
right,
even gonna
there you
lie.
go, Mike. We're talking about you potatoing somebody. So there you go. All right, here. This is a fun question. So, what's how far have you ever drove and got the less amount of money? So have you ever went X amount of? So here's mine real quick. I went 4.5 hours and got paid $3. So top
my
that.
thing is,
Top
all right,
that, Brett.
I don't know if I could top that, but I got a good one. I got a good
All right, good one. Good.
Okay, so there's two stories. Going back in the day when me and my tag team partner at the time, Chris Michaels, was part of the Hollywood Clique. We were the Michael brothers, and we were buddies with Hollywood Jimmy. Hollywood Jimmy would take us North Tennessee, Northwest Tennessee, West Tennessee, that whole area. I promise y'all, we rode with him and still were in the hole because I'm pretty sure they gave us $5
For the
between
group?
me and my tag partner. And listen, me and my tag team partner had to give Jimmy $5 each anyway. So we were in the hole $250 each, leaving the show, and still had to go home and eat. And I mean, but that was like, it wasn't a Dyersburg, Tennessee show, but it was one of the shows from Dyersburg that was in another town. I mean, I don't remember what they called it. I mean, it was like Trenton, Tennessee. There was like 3 other cities that was right around that area that they would go to. And that was the first time me and my partner, my buddy back then, ever traveled anywhere.
Right.
But
right. And y'all was like, I don't think I want to do this again. So
yeah. And then the second story, I really didn't travel that far, but it was Memphis. I traveled all the way to Memphis, to Millington at the was it Naval Base, the military base?
I think it is. Yeah, I don't know if it's Naval or Air Force. It may be Air Force.
It was for Kenny Valiant.
I'm familiar with Kenny.
I mean, it was just a funny thing. It wasn't. I mean, I'm not mad at him. It was funny. The outcome was funny anyway. So Lawler was on this show. Kamala was on this show. Kid Cash was on this show. Don Bass, Doug Gilbert, Dundee, Pure Destruction, if you remember those guys.
Oh,
yeah. It was just a crap ton of guys, and I was like the lowest level talent on this show because of the Memphis legends and stuff and that were there. And after the show, he pulls like 10 of us into a room telling us that he can't pay us because some deal about the money guy didn't bring the right money bag or didn't bring the money bag that was supposed to cover whatever. All that's 10 people that was in here.
Right.
But he would send us our money. Let me tell you what he did.
There's no telling.
He sent my check to Jimmy Blaylock.
Oh my God.
And Jimmy didn't steal my money on this one because it wasn't enough to steal. Dude, he wrote this check out to my wrestling name.
Oh,
and I was like, how am I going to cash this? I was like, I don't have an ID with that name on it.
Right.
How am I going to cash this? So literally, Jimmy ended up with my money with that check because he's the one that had to cash it because there was no way I could cash it because I had no ID with Brett Michaels to whoever the check was made out to. I was like, oh my God. So yeah, I was out of money then too, because Jimmy ended up with a real check on that.
I don't think anyone's ever tried to pay me with a check. This was
And I was also scared about that too.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever happened. It's crazy. All right, here's
This
number 5.
This was really back in the day.
Back in the day. There you go.
Yeah, 2004-ish.
Gosh. So question number 5. You were on Young Rock.
Yep.
A couple more than one
Episode
appearance.
1, episode 2.
What would we learn about you if they made a show called Young Brett? What is something that they would just think was the strangest thing about Brett Michaels, the current Brett Michaels right now, if they went back and started talking about your childhood?
How quiet and timid I was, for sure. And how nothing was interesting. I did nothing interesting. When I graduated high school, I weighed about 170 pounds. I was 6'2", 170. I literally looked like a scrawny beanpole. And I didn't start gaining weight till I was like 23, 24 or whatever, because I was eating everything I could back then, but it just didn't work. I mean, my metabolism was so fast, I guess. Nothing would make me gain weight. And then I just got to where we go to eat Pizza Inn, if you remember that pizza place back at the time.
They actually still have one here in Northeast Arkansas and Blau, Arkansas, and they have one here in Jonesboro, believe it or not.
I would go to that if they still had the same recipe. I would go to that. I would go to that pizza restaurant just because I love that pizza. And then they went out of business in North Mississippi and Tennessee, and there we go. No more Pizza Inns. But I learned just to eat a pizza buffet 5 days a week when I was in college.
Wow. Gained a little weight, huh?
Yeah. And then I was gaining it the wrong way. So.
Gained a little weight. So there you go.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that was the 5 questions for the main show. You're going to watch this on YouTube, on Memphis Wrestling YouTube. But to get the 3 other questions, man, I don't even know if I'll ever put these on anything. But we got 3 more questions for Patreon. They may be a little different than what you listen to. Subscribe to Patreon.
We're in trouble now.
Yeah, here we go.
In trouble now.
Same bad time, same bad channel on the best little wrestling podcast in the business. Be there, and as everyone knows, and I know the Gun Show knows this.
Oh, I love
my mama.
Yeah, you do.
All right, Patreon, we're ready for 3 more questions. Here's a hard one.
We're gonna be in trouble on this. This might take a long time because I'll be scared to answer the question. Probably. I'll get fired or something.
What is your favorite road food? What is the go-to while you're on the road? We're going to hit this restaurant. We're going to buy this. Because number one, I'm going to tell you, one of mine was always at the dollar menu when McDonald's had so much stuff on the dollar menu, because we could eat. I had 2 kids that went with me all the time. So there was 3 of us. We could eat for $6.32. There we go. And big spending. But that was my favorite.
About like that. Your PO would cover it back then.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's about right. Yeah.
I mean, mine would barely. Oh man, I don't know. Now I got to have something big. Like I got to get some kind of chicken Alfredo with noodles or something, and it's got to be a big boy plate. It can't be a little boy plate. Now I'll complain about it because of how much I ate, because I probably eat the whole bowl.
Right,
it's probably literally 2 servings, and I'll eat the whole bowl. But it's got to be something big, because I used to try to go get a steak, but I realized that was wasting my time. But if it ain't chicken Alfredo, I'm at Buffalo Wild Wings.
There you go.
And I'm getting the boneless wings, and I'm getting about 15 or 20. And then I keep saying I'm going to save half of them and take them home. And end up eating every one of them.
It's Tuesday or Thursday they do that. You buy
Oh
half
yeah,
price. I'm gonna take
and
half
I'm
of it
never
all.
around
Never
I'm
works.
never around a Buffalo Wild Wings on those days.
Never works. Never works, man. All right. What is one thing? This is number 7. What is one thing you worry about right before you go to the ring? What is the thing that's going on in your mind as you're going right before you go to the ring?
Don't forget
No,
the
I'm
first
gonna
spot.
tell
Don't
you
forget the
mine
first
real
spot.
quick.
Don't forget the first spot. Don't forget the first spot.
There you go. Don't forget the first spot. There you go.
Yeah,
I'm not a praying man. I'm not a praying man at all. But I would say, look, don't let me get hurt. That's the main thing. I got kids. Just don't let me
used
get
to
hurt.
say that all the time, and then when I came back, when I broke my neck in my car wreck about 4 years ago now, I keep telling everybody 3, but it's actually, I looked on Facebook, it's been 4 years now.
Dang,
so that means, holy crap, I missed a year or something. That must have been when I was hurt. They had me on so much stuff, I don't remember that year, I guess. I just remember like being scared that, here it goes. I'm getting a second chance, this little last run kind of a deal. I'm told not to wrestle. I'm told not to go to the gym. I was told not to do all this. And I'm stubborn just a little bit. And my mama tell you I'm stubborn. I'm pretty sure I got a couple of X's.
And Brett Michaels loves his mama. I want you.
Oh yeah. I really do. She take care of me. I would say, please don't drop me on my head. Please don't drop me on my head. Please don't break my neck, because I knew I'd be done. I was like, it's going to happen in the ring. That's exactly what I was always scared of. Like, I got all my girls coming to watch me wrestle now. Something bad's going to happen. That was my go-to for about a year.
Kids,
I was worried
my kids were always with me every time I was at the matches. And then when I got out of the business and was doing the website, I always took them with me. So we never thought about the long trips, like, look over us as we're driving. But all I was always worried about is when I walk right out, and then just don't get hurt. I need to drive home. I got no one else
to drive home, so don't get hurt.
Yeah.
So there's been a little funny saying going on here lately. And my oldest daughter, she ain't 14.
Right.
She's going to turn about 14 next month. But I'm like, won't be long. You're going to have to learn how to drive.
There you go.
That way we can get back and forth to all these wrestling shows.
Yep.
That's the way I can take a break in the passenger seat up there and back, because I'm getting to where I'm going 2 hours, 3 hours to shows now, where I wasn't never doing that.
Right.
4 hours. And I don't know. My body says you ain't supposed to be doing this on the road for so long, and here I am still doing it. So, I mean, sitting in a car for 6 hours is not good on my back, my legs, or anything.
Oh, no. I turned 56 last year, and my knees, I did it for 5 years straight, managing, bumping off the ring. That's just 5 years, but still, we did 3 or 4 dates, usually about 3 dates on an average.
I did about 3 times every week, yeah.
And so, boom, I can feel it in my knees. Guys like Terry Funk and stuff like that, I think, God dang, they don't even have knees.
My God. I don't know how they do it.
All right, here's my last
question. That's in it for more than 20-something years, I don't see how they do it.
Well, Muda, if you get a chance to see Great Muda, if you get a chance to see him, he did that moonsault for so many years, he barely can walk to the ring. So he's got 2 replacement knees, and he's got a hip I think he's replaced one side, and then he's going to replace the other side. Just crazy. All right, here's the last question.
Here we go.
All right. Does it piss you off when I say Brett can't talk, you're not going to get him over? Did that piss you off when I said that?
Absolutely not.
Oh, come on, Brett. Come on.
No, because look, all you were doing was saying it out loud what I was saying to myself. Because,
oh, my God, no.
Look, you are not the only one that had that conversation with Dustin. I had that conversation with Dustin. I said, how are you want me to be the gun show? You want me to be a baby? I'm like,
right,
I literally said I don't think that's going to work.
Yeah.
Because I was supposed to be cocky. I was supposed to walk around flexing all the time. I said, that's a heel. I mean, I grew up on Memphis wrestling. Any guy that walked out of the dressing room and thought their shit didn't stink, they were cocky as hell. They were the bad guy every time. The
Right.
good guys didn't do that. They might have pranced around, but they didn't go overboard. And GunShow was a little bit overboard back when we first started this GunShow thing. And I kind of toned it down a little bit, but now I'm just stiff as hell when I'm in the ring instead of flexing and looking pretty. I'm
And
trying to knock somebody's head off.
I was kidding Dustin, and I think I even said it on one of the Shooting Stars that he doesn't wrestle anymore, and he books you the way he would want himself booked, like you are Dustin Starr kind of thing. And then we had the conversation that I said, look, I know what you're doing with Brett, because Brett is a muscle guy, just like you're a muscle guy, but you can talk. If Brett can't talk, you're not going to get him over as a babyface. And hey, both of you guys proved me wrong. And all you got to say is boom on a microphone. So you don't even have to say nothing else.
Say boom, throw a spine buster and a clothesline. That's it.
And that's
I'm
it.
like, man, I wish I'd have figured this out 20 years ago.
Oh, yeah. You think about all that shit you were doing.
I wouldn't be so sore right now.
But yeah, it is. It's, we go back. I had the same conversation with someone. I said, take, for example, someone like a Goldberg or an Ultimate Warrior that did very little in the ring, but you start learning that in the sense that they don't have to be. Not that I'm saying you're a bad worker, but you don't have to do all the stuff everyone else does. There's something that a lot of wrestlers don't understand. You don't have to. So because
for the last 3 or 4 years, I've had less is more. Less is more. Right. Less is more. Beat into my head more than anything, because I'm wanting to take at other shows before I got to Memphis, I was wanting to take heat for about 15 minutes of the match. And they're like, you got to do all that. Like, you just got to just do the heat for a small package, take it home. I'm like, oh, really? And then now we're doing that.
Well, I thought they did when they put you and Justin together, and you did a couple of the squash matches that y'all did on TV. I love that. I love the idea of still being able to show kind of show out, the big moves, and let's just get the match over with kind of thing.
Right.
But it got, and I think that's part of it too, because they booked you to the point to where the people believe it. So when you hit that clothesline, they can feel it, they can hear it, they know it. You're hitting that.
Well, they can hear it because I'm knocking the crap out.
Right, I know. I don't want to take one of them. So there you go. No.
But I'm just saying. I was like, at first, I was kind of scared about it because I was scared I'd knock their head off.
Hurt somebody. Yeah.
Now it's just like, oh well, look, I'm throwing it. Here we go.
All right, that was 8 questions.
Now I knock the head off.
I'm gonna. Since you was a heel, I'm gonna go back to something real quick we were talking about. Not an official question, so I'm gonna talk to. Can we go back to when you know what it is? You know that when you're babyface and you're so over as a babyface, especially in Memphis history, when you turn, you're going to be so over as a heel. They're going to hate you so much. You know that, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
And
then that happens, I'm pretty sure that bucket list is checked in. I never wanted to be like the number one guy in any place, much less Memphis. That was accident. But to be a main bad guy on a show, that's where it's at. I'm just saying. Because the bad guys are what makes the show, and the bad guys are what makes the good guys look good too. I mean, there's proof. Look at Alan Steele. He made me look good.
Alan's such a great worker. All right. Thanks, man. Thanks, Patreon. Hold on just a second. Let me end the recording.